Now, for some, like the Aurora Orchestra, performing from memory adds an extra frisson to the performance, both for the audience and the musician. But what happens when the nerves and the adrenaline more than kick in, to the extent that it affects your playing and perhaps even your career? Proms Extra spoke to two brave musicians to find out more.
My anxiety used to get so bad that there was one occasion where I actually left the stage in the middle of a performance.
Physically, I'm slightly more breathless. I find it I struggle more controlling my breathing.
I felt like my body had sort of betrayed me, like this adrenaline, I could not manage it. I couldn't cope with how it was making me feel.
This is all happening in milliseconds, so many things can go wrong.
That's when I really started to kind of plan when I was going to drink, when I was going to take a beta blocker, or later on it was Valium sometimes.
Performers, before they walk out on stage, we see elevated heart rates, we see changes in blood pressure, there are releases of stress hormones into the body. So they're performing in a different physical state than the condition in which they're practicing.
One of the worst panics I had was when I was 18. With the NYO, we were doing a prom performance with Simon Rattle. It was televised. I can only describe it really. It was like a tsunami of adrenaline. And I couldn't catch my breath, my limbs were shaking, I was sweating, I felt like I might vomit. I was playing second by second, fighting the panic. And the way I got through it, I thought, I'll just never play the cello again after this. After this performance, I just won't do it again, because this isn't for me. I just wasn't coping with the performance anxiety. I managed to make it through that performance, but the next time I performed, I was frightened of the same feeling happening. It's very isolating thinking, I must be the only person that feels like this. With a lot of your peers, it's just playing away, looking immaculate. I eventually just stopped playing altogether. When I was 22, I put the cello in the box and thought, I'll be a waitress, because it's easier.
If you look at really top players, you'll see when they're on stage this extraordinary ability to focus. If musicians slip from the high standards, it's very easy to beat yourself up about it. And if they beat themselves up about it, that can be a whole environment of judgment and criticism, and that can be absolutely lethal for nerves.
It's not just performing. Every musician has to audition to even get onto the stage.
Okay, they're ready for you now. Thanks. One solution that we have in the Royal College of Music is a virtual audition panel that interact directly with the performer.
Hello?
Hi.
Please start whenever you are ready.
They're entirely fake, but they make a real difference to how people respond.
With auditions, I would become much more inhibited, reacting to how panel members were reacting to each other or reacting to how I was playing, and I found that quite distracting.
Thank you for coming.
There are different settings on the simulator, so I have tended to opt for the aggressive reaction.
Thank you. I think we've heard enough.
We're not out to torture our musicians, but what we want to do is to give them a chance to experience good and bad outcomes, and also to develop strategies for coping with those bad outcomes when they have to.
Being able to practice how to do that in a simulator is really important.
And I'm happy to say that both the musicians we featured there work regularly and love their work now. They have conquered those demons. They're in very good company though. Chopin, Vladimir Horowitz, just some of the big names.